Hello, I am Qazi Fazli Azeem, a full-time first-year student at the Dynamic Media Institute. I'm here in Boston through the Fulbright program for cultural and educational exchange. I am South Asia's first and only self-advocate for the autism spectrum, and I am an educator too. I became an educator after overcoming my personal education challenges, hyperlexia, Asperger's syndrome, dyscalculia. I want to help others overcome their own challenges so that they can reach their potential faster. Last year, I saw the power of ideas, creativity, and education by volunteering for Boston's first TEDx Beacon Street. This semester, I was able to work on these ideas when I signed up for the Creative Learning massive online course at the MIT Media Lab with Ms. Resnick, studying how creative ideas influence education. Last semester, I was able to meet the Spanish sculptor Jean Plincer in mass art. I was inspired by the patterns and numbers in his public art, particularly the alchemist statue at the MIT. This semester, I was able to see Jean Plincer's dynamic public art at the Crown Fountain at the Millennium Park in Chicago. The subject and context of the art, along with the technology and interaction with its users and audience, allows me to think about my own work, now it relates to the public. I was able to listen and meet the artist Joshua Davis at a talk at the MIT Media Lab organized by Paul Clark. Joshua creates dynamic and generative art using processing, the language. His workflow is based on detailed pattern recognition using mathematics and coding. This is something that I've been interested in as an intersection of art and computers, which apply to my own design work. In the last semester, I was able to research the future trends in education, particularly the role of dynamic media due to my own career as an educator. I was able to study MOOCs, massive open online courses, by leading universities, including the MIT and Harvard, through their edX online platform. Just last month, I was invited by the Howard Innovation Lab and edX to participate in the 2013 Hack IP Challenge, which created policies for tackling intellectual property issues for edX as they continue to innovate in education. I'm in talks with them for a possible summer internship to implement their content in the developing world. The first project I want to talk about is the mapping project I did for the Design Studio course with Professor Brian Lucid. I chose DJ Earworm's United States of Pop 2009 mashup remix. I'd heard it before and it resonated with me more than the other songs that I'd heard at that same time. The first steps I took was to break the mashup into song title, vocals, instruments, the time measurement, and YouTube views. I chose to match YouTube views since I had convenient access to data and chose the official video for each song as opposed to the fan-posted videos. This is because I wanted to correlate the professional social media success of the band with the personal sampling choice of DJ Earworm, who remixed the song. This was to infer how closely social media success relates to beats per minute, which is the standard by which a DJ joins different songs together. My initial thought was to create a map with more information that could be shown on a traditional poster. I was interested in multiple ways of presenting information and the idea of polymorphism, the map giving different information based on how it's read. I saw Becky's map of the lyrics of the same mashup in the DMI studio and thought of how I could remix her design, just as I was making a map about a remix. I wanted to add more layers of information. I wanted to see or increase the ways users interacted with the flat surface of the map. I wanted multiple ways of looking at the map, which would then give you different types of information to its viewers. My first design was about showing the lyrics, vocals, song titles, instruments, time, and YouTube views. 6 different types of information on the same map. But this was also very congested due to information overload. I then reduced and combined one of the color grids, deciding that users will either want to view song lyrics and sing along, or would want to know the song titles and match it with the timing of the song. This was a simple structure than before, but still had too much information to view at once. So then I printed this map on transparent plastic sheets with the base on a separate sheet. The YouTube views were printed on a separate transparent sheet and layer on top of the base sheet to give a combined view. The lyrics were then printed on another plastic sheet and could then be removed. The last plastic sheet had song titles, and users could change this with the lyrics if required. This would allow navigation through following lyrics as the song played, or through following the song title and the time. So I was able to use multiple transparent sheets of plastic and added registration marks on the sheet to align them together so that they could be, aligned correctly when using different combinations. Another project I made for the Design Studio class was a mark-making drawing machine. I tried using a pencil and paper clips connected with a dermabrasion brush motor, but since it kept breaking off, I simplified it later using black ink on the brush and a rubber band for stability. I have a video here. failed project. That's the one that worked. Going around and around. So I then put like ink on it. This felt a bit boring, so I recorded this, front to that. I didn't need a rubber band, so it's upside down now. I recorded it. Boring. Too much ink. I have a copy of the map right here. So this is what I ended up making with my first prototype of the drawing machine. Okay, I created a mind map of how I think. This was for Professor Yan's design seminar class. This was done through an automatic writing process. Mapping keywords that came from it. I had to analyze my own thought process as a researcher to gain insight. I categorized words, the common themes of learning in the center, and words that define power, behavior, change, awareness. I further developed these connections between these words and saw intersections and overlaps. With learning being the center of how I think and approach life, I saw some inconsistencies and reduced the words. The structure of my mind map unconsciously started resembling the physical structure of a brain, designed to connect with the words based on themes that motivated me, in reference to my art, design, life. I saw the flat surface of paper was limiting my approach, as well as how I visualized and thought about my actions. So then my desire to know myself and the influence that genetics has affected how I think enabled me to get my genetic sequencing done by National Geographic's Xenographic project. This confirmed my oral family history as well as my suspicion about my ancestry. I decided, therefore, to go one step back so that I could move 2 steps forward. My background, interest, and career as an educator, as well as my supportive role for people and non-profits, has shaped my thinking over time. This is how I see the world. So thinking about all these views, I simplified my thought process to a triangular approach to my work, being for-profit, not-for-profit, or for supportive roles. In retrospect, this was my professional or corporate outlook, not my personal life and path, and I had to take a step backwards. So the organic mind map that I created as a conclusion of my own thought process allowed me to understand how I approach life. I see things as opportunities of growth or things which limit me, such as my abilities being a tool and process which allow me to achieve goals. An example of this is when I would learn something primarily to become a leader in it, which would allow my personal growth. I would then also get some opinions about that knowledge, which would limit me. But then it would also allow me to add to that area of expertise by changing things through my creative process. Genetics has played a role in this, as is design. As these purple lines that you see here are roads where any path can be taken, and each word is a gate or entry point, depending on how I approach a problem. I'm also taking the Electronic Arts Project course with Professor Dana Moser this semester, and we have worked with sensors, LEDs, motors, and generative art. I have worked with these technologies, however, I plan to continue working with them. It's the middle of the semester, so a lot of the things I'm really interested in, such as accelerometers, motors, playing sound files, I'm going to do very soon. My first cross-registration course at the MIT Media Lab with Professor Mitch Resnick allowed me to work with the new Scratch software, Scratch 2.0 for teaching coding and storytelling to children. I also work with Turtle Art to create generative art through coding and learn about different learning styles, creativity, and the process of making things. The same course is also the MIT Media Lab's first massive open online course, and I enjoy sharing my creations and reflections with over 10,000 students from across the world every week on the Google Plus community for this course. I created an introduction about my interest in an animated story using the Scratch software, which is shared on their website and forum. The Turtle Art software also allowed me to generate art using mathematics. It's a new process that I've never been exposed to because of my background in design and art. So for the fresh media installation, I created combined video abstracts, and for the show, this allowed me to build on my design process and my desire to support others. It was an educational design process that required many iterations, communication, and learning. The Fresh Media Show also allowed me to see diverse work and work with many artists. This relates to my diverse interests as well as multiple perspectives involved in this process of education, change, and innovation. I could draw parallels with my mind map. I saw the installation by Felix Torres, a Cuban artist at the Payne and Bacalar Gallery at MassArt. The large number of licorice candies did not seem randomly placed to me, and I could connect it with pattern-based thinking that I saw connected with my own mind map. So future directions of my work as well as things which I'm interested in. I'm interested in data visualization, generative art, symbiosis and combination of nature and technology such as augmentation, evolution, and the singularity. Also growth through dynamic educational interventions such as MOOCs, massive open online courses, or dynamic educational experiences. I'd like to conclude by saying that computers need to become cellular and emulate bacteria or DNA. Only then can we use the full potential of biocomputing inside our bodies with augmentation and use genetic algorithms and pattern recognition to solve problems of big data. Thank you.